What's up guys, welcome back to the Arna channel for another reaction video guys. Checking out healthcare experience in Europe as an American. Okay guys, and the video is coming from Life of Carl. Okay, so the link will be in the description for you guys to check out on this tab. Okay guys, yes, so I can't wait to check this one out. So let's go.
Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about my healthcare experience when I went to Europe. So I just got back from a trip to Europe. I went to Barcelona in Spain, and then I flew to Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona for a week. I was in Amsterdam for a week too, and then I went to Vals, which is in southern Holland, for my uncle's wedding, and I went to Mönchengladbach, Germany, for 2 days, and then I flew back home. So when I was in Amsterdam, I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub, and the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like, it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had taken a hammer and almost smashed right behind my toes on my left foot, and it was swollen, but there was no marking, so I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt? And I guess I just had overstressed it. So I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided. Then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did a guided tour of the red light district and this museum tour and stuff like that. So I was walking around for 2 hours straight, and normally that's no problem. I walked 6 miles a day when I was in Barcelona, and I'd been biking around all the time in Amsterdam. But by the end of the walking tour, my foot was just hurting really badly, and I was limping, and I knew it was no good. So the next day, I drove with my uncle to Vals because we were going there for his wedding.
I guess because of all the different activity that he was doing, strenuous movement, I guess it affected the foot or something like that. I guess or he probably ruined it.
And not much improvement at all. I think I waited one more day, and then on the day of the wedding was starting at 1:32, something like that. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. This is not improving. It's getting bad. So I was at a hotel, so I asked the hotel reception, where's the nearest doctor? So they pointed out on the map for me, and it was like a block or 2 blocks away. I think it was 3 blocks. So I called them up, and the recording line was in Dutch, so I had no idea. I speak German and Spanish pretty well, but I can't speak Dutch, so I had no idea what they were saying on the recording line. So I said, screw it, I'm just gonna go straight there. So it was I think it was around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on a Thursday. And I walked there, I limped to the doctor's office. So I get there, and I check in, and I just go up to the desk and I say, hey, how's it going? I got this problem, blah, blah, blah. They take my ID, they scan it, they tell me that it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to check me out. So keep in mind, I'm an American citizen. I live in California. I have health insurance here, but I don't have, it's not international health insurance. So I'm over there, I am not a citizen, and I have no health insurance. So they tell me, okay, so it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to see you. So I say, okay, all right. That's like what a copay is in America. So I go. I had to get cash. They wanted me to pay in cash. So I was like, that's fine. So there's an ATM across the street. So I went and got the cash, and then I waited probably 10 minutes, maybe. It might have even been less than that. It was 10, 15 minutes. I went and saw the doctor. She examined my foot. She did a thorough job. She looked at it. She said, she asked me questions, blah, blah, blah. She looked at my other foot to compare. My left one was kind of swollen, blah blah blah. So she looked at the foot. She said, "Okay, I think you need an
Mm.
X-ray. I think it has like a stress fracture." And she heard my whole story and everything. She said, "I don't have an X-ray machine here, but I can write you an X-ray recommendation for a hospital." So I said, "Okay, that sounds good." She wrote me the recommendation, and then she said, "I can give you it's like a painkiller slash anti-inflammatory prescription."
Yes, I guess that's all she could have done then until she see the X-ray to see what's really happening, even though it could be a stress factor, like I'm saying, all the different activity, like back to back to back to back on his foot, yeah, probably bring on that, stress factor on the foot as well. Yes, and being in a different company, especially if you don't have um health insurance that's cover you wherever you go, you're gonna pay for sure, for sure, for sure. You're gonna pay once you're not in your country. Once the health insurance is just for your country, once you're outside the country and you don't have a insurance that's cover abroad, it's gonna cost you for sure.
So I went. So I said, "Okay, great. That sounds good. I'll take the prescription." So she gave me the prescription. There was a pharmacy in the downstairs of the doctor's office. So I went down the elevator, went to the pharmacy. They filled my prescription, and it was €7 for this like painkiller slash anti-inflammatories pill. So and it was funny because they said, "Oh, do you want a receipt so you can try to get your health insurance to pay for it?" And I just started laughing. I was like, what's the point? I'm going to spend like an hour on the phone to try to get €5 from the insurance company or whatever. So I was like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry." So I had the painkiller, and I had the doctor, the recommendation for an X-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pill she had given me. And so I'm driving with my relatives to Mönchengladbach, which is pretty close to the German Dutch border. So my aunt, my great aunt, she takes me to the basically the emergency room in her town, Mönchengladbach. So I go there. They had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They like photocopied my ID. I signed a couple things. So I go to get the X-ray, and First, I'll tell you how long I waited. First, I check in. Then I go back to the emergency room. I probably waited about a half hour. I think I made like a phone call and I read a couple of news articles on my phone. It was a half hour, and this is an emergency room. And again, I have no insurance and I'm not a German citizen. So go there. I wait about a half hour. I go and see the doctor. The doctor examines me again. I tell her the whole story. Then she says, "Okay, we're gonna give you an X-ray." So I walk down to the X-ray room. They do the X-ray. I go to the reception room in the X-ray wing of the hospital, and they say, "Okay, your charge is €20 for the X-ray." So I'm like, "All right, great, that sounds good. €20." So I go back up. They look at my X-ray. They say, "Okay, you don't have a stress fracture, but you need to take it easy for a bit. They're like, you have lots of inflammation, and you just."
Every time you hear about the pain, the viewer, he was like, ooh, I start laughing. Wow, information. Wow, wow. That's for sure. That's like, that could cause from probably eat his food or strain the muscle or something that built up on information then that cause it, you know. Yeah, once you don't have international health care, your aid care is not going to cover you for nothing abroad because it's not international. You have to pay up. You have to cough that up. You have to cough that money. You
Gotta
know.
take it easy and etc. So they give me this they give me like a pain cream, and they wrap my foot up, and they send me on my way. So I leave the hospital, and I tell my aunt, I'm like, yeah, they only charged me 20 euros, and she, you know how the Germans are. She's like, oh, that's not right. You probably owe them a little more. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we go back to the billing office, and they determine that I owe them another 60 euros. So my total charge for visiting an emergency room in Germany was 80 euros, and that included an X-ray.
That's
So
not bad.
if you did the same thing in the United States and you didn't have health
Not at
insurance, and
all.
especially if you weren't a citizen, I'm sure the X-ray would probably cost at least $300 or $400, and then just the fact that you're in the emergency room would at least be another couple hundred. So you'd probably be at the door 500. I show up, not a citizen, no health insurance, and they charge me 80 euros. And I was happy. I waited a half hour at the emergency room, and I waited like maybe 15 minutes.
Wow, so basically he's saying that the European healthcare, not only are they faster, but you pay less. Now I get what he's saying because, yeah, because when he was naming out the price, I was like, $20 for X-ray. Like, really? And like $7 for the painkillers. Like, really? Look. So he say, go into the emergency room, getting to see the doctor, going for an x-ray, getting paid medication. They are tending to him like quick time, and all it costs everything $80. Like, wow, comparing to the US where it will cost hundreds of dollars. Like, he's basically saying the US healthcare suck. And he's comparing the time as well. Like, he get not only good service and less money, but that's what he said.
At the doctor's office in Holland. So overall, I think my experience was pretty good, and I was obviously I was happy that I didn't have a fracture, because that would have really ruined the rest of my trip. And yeah, so it was really good. But I just hope that this leads to a further discussion about the healthcare system we have in the United States, because over there they have a combo of, it's mostly universal healthcare, so it's like single payer universal healthcare where the government pays for it. And in Germany, you can buy, I think in Holland too, you can buy supplemental healthcare insurance. So like if you're, for some reason you're not happy with it, then you can pay extra money. But the prices are way lower. The wait times were faster, if you ask me. And what a lot of people will say, they'll say about they'll rag on the Canadian system, or they'll rag on universal healthcare systems. They'll say, oh, the wait times are forever, and you're gonna get a shitty doctor and poor care. And I never had that problem. And granted, I only went to two different doctor's offices, and a doctor's office and an emergency room. But yeah, that was my experience. So hopefully you can pass this on to other people and tell them, spread the truth. All right, have a good one.
Okay, guys, very interesting video. Very interesting video for real. All right, so let me see. So could it be like with different country you probably have different system, and I guess is the economy. I guess I don't know. Maybe is their economy why is certain. I'm not gonna talk about the waiting time, because I feel like our system here with the waiting time getting to see doctor and stuff like that, it sucks. Not gonna lie, it sucks here with our medical system with going to a public hospital. It really sucks. So if did came here and got hurt, I think the video would be different, because where it compares to the like the waiting time period, like it really sucks. I'm not gonna lie. But I guess with the charges and stuff like that, I don't know if it has to do with the economy and the way all your health care are set up in the country. inflation, this, that, I don't know, but overall he's saying that the European, they do have a good health system, and it's, but to him it's much better compared to his country, which is the USA. Okay, guys, so I guess you would know, and I guess a lot of people going to agree to disagree. I don't know, but I'm glad that he visited another country and he did get a good experience there. That's the major thing, and he's just speaking from his experience, and he had a good experience, so he's just speaking of it. Okay, we may agree or to disagree about what he has to say. Um, yeah, people from America may be upset, but he had a good experience, and he's speaking of his experience because he was surprised about how it went down. The waiting period was really quick, and the less that he has to pay, not having an international health insurance. Okay, like everywhere is different. Every community has an injury like that. um in Jamaica dollars, it may seem experienced, but in Jamaica dollars it may maybe seem um expensive, but when you check it out in your money, it's gonna seem a lot cheaper. Okay, but for someone living here, it would be expensive because we live here, and that's the money we are used to, and that's the money that we have to spend. Okay, but someone, because your money is value more than ours, so coming here and using our L system, it would work out cheap because of the value of your money is higher than ours. Yes, so it's good to hear and to listen and to know and to listen to other people experience, and that is experience being in Europe, and it was a good one. So yeah, I enjoy listening. Like I said, I enjoy listening, learning about other countries, their culture, their experience, and you know, traveling, what to expect. Okay, guys, yes, because I hope to travel to all these countries that I do react to. Hopefully, one day I can. Okay, guys, yes, so it was overall a good video listening to it. All right, yes, so don't forget to live, love, laugh, and to learn. Okay, guys, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, comment down below. Let me hear what you all think about this video for sure, because I really would like to hear what you all think about it. So I'll catch you in another one, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.